Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the Suffolk coast, where I'm at the village of Dunwich, which actually used to be an enormous medieval town. And I'm currently standing in the ruins of St James's Chapel, which is a 12th century scheduled ancient monument that was actually a leprosy hospital. And it sits right next to the 19th century church, so this is much more modern. But it's possible that this used to be the original parish church for the village before it was converted into a hospital. And I'm here doing a circular walk of about 5 miles. That is going to take in Dunwich Heath, the lovely Friary ruins, and of course the coast as well. So I'm now here at the ruins of Greyfriars, and this is a large scheduled ancient monument that covers about 7 acres, with these ruins standing right in the middle. Now these are believed to date to about the 14th century, but the actual area was founded in 1289, and there is a lovely gatehouse just on the far side over here. And this building, or this monastic complex, would have actually sat on the very western edge of Dunwich. And the information board actually says it was a city. I thought it was a town, but it does say on the edge of the city of Dunwich, which would have sprawled out to the east for about a mile before hitting the coast. And now the actual coastline is just literally a few meters the other side of this whole monastic complex. So I'm just on the edge of the monastic complex, like the wall is just there, and actually I can see some of the ruins just between the trees to have a quick look at the last grave, and it sits just in the woods here. And it actually says this is the last surviving gravestone from the churchyard of medieval church of All Saints, which lay about 40 metres to the east of this spot. So the church was disused from 1758 and fell over the eroding cliff between 1904 and 1920. The last tower buttress was dismantled and rebuilt in the present churchyard of St James's Church, which is actually what I saw earlier. And the gravestone reads, "In memory of Jacob Forster, who departed this life March 12th, 1796, aged 38. So where we are at the moment is actually just following the road in towards Dunwich Heath, and we're going to approach from the northern side. And where I actually wanted to be was on the Sandlings Walk, which is through the woodlands over here, but it's all closed at the moment because the Forestry Commission, you might be able to hear the machinery, are actually felling a lot of the trees there. So a little bit of a detour round, but not much further. So we're here in Dunwich Heath now, and this massive nature reserve is owned and managed by the National Trust, and it sits just on the north side of Minsmere, which is an RSPB reserve and a world famous area for birdwatching. But this place is really quite special because it is a very, very rare habitat. This gorse and heather covered heathland used to cover a very large area of the Suffolk coast, but now only small pockets remain. And it's home to some rare birds, things like stonechats, but also the elusive Dartford warbler, which only a few hundred pairs, I believe, remain, mainly here and also in the heaths in Dorset. And we're going to follow this path, which is still the Sandlings and the Suffolk coast path, long distance walk, and we're going to follow that all the way in towards the visitor centre and the little coffee shop where the National Trust sort of entrance is. So we've just deviated off the main path through Dunwich Heath to visit this little trig point here. This is from the Ordnance Survey, and it marks 21 metres above sea level, and it sits just maybe 4 or 5 metres away from the cliff edge, which just drops away sharply down to the North Sea. And that way is north, that's south world. I can see the lighthouse there, and then if I turn around this way, this looks south towards Minsmere, which I'll be able to see shortly, and I can see the building over there, which is the National Trust site. We're heading that way and then down to the beach. So we're at the very, very southern edge now of Dunwich Heath, and we've got a view that overlooks the vast area of RSPB Minsmere, backed sadly by Sizewell nuclear power station, but This area covers literally hundreds, if not thousands of acres of reed bed, open marsh, open water. It is just one of the best havens for wildlife, and it has many of some of Britain's rarest birds and insect species here. It's always worth a lovely day out. And it's here that we're going to go down, join the beach, and then follow that all the way back to Dunwich. So we are now approaching the car park at Dunwich. We've followed this beach for about 3 kilometres. Some of it was on shingle, but as the tide's going out, it's exposed a lot of the sand, which is a lot nicer to walk on. And it's actually been really, really pleasant. Lots of sand mines all nesting up in the cliffs. And if you have enjoyed this walk, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, and also ring the bell to keep up to date with future uploads. And I will see you next time.